What's good, YouTube? It's your man Spill Dog. I saw a couple of videos Blue Blood put up today talking about Tank Davis, and Tank got one problem, and it's only one way to fix it: get in the ring and start fighting. He fell in love with getting that easy money with Floyd and putting on shows instead of fights. And when he brought Lamont Roach, damn, hold on. And when he brought Lamont Roach in there, he brought him in because look, he thought that was gonna be a easy fight, and a lot of these other guys he should be fighting. But from not fighting the top level fighters, Lamont Roach came in at a win that night. He didn't come in at a lay down. And Tank looked up and he was in a motherfucking fight. That's why he panicked like he did in the eighth round. That was straight panic because shit got real and it caught him off guard. Uh, that's the word, See, this is what I liked about Earl Spence. This is what I like about Terrence Crawford. This is what I liked about Canelo. Uh, this is what I liked about Floyd before that last contract he had. This is what I loved about Sugar Shane Mosley. Once you make it to the top, I'm gonna show y'all what happened to him. That same thing happened to Shane Mosley, fucked his career up. Once you get to the top and you done made it up there, you the champ, you getting all the love, you getting this good money. You can't start trying to take easy fights to keep the money coming. When Sugar Shane beat Oscar De La Hoya, his next two fights was against a dude I think from overseas, a little white guy, and the next one was against this dude Diaz. Neither one of them had no business really fighting him at that point. When he got in there with Vernon Forrest, he got in a real fight again, and he got beat down. And Shane said it himself in a interview that he wasn't going down no more, fighting beneath, not on the standard of fighter that caliber that he is. It ruined his career, I think. Trying to just playing games with that belt, trying to hold the money. And Tank done fell in love with this shit. I looked at his resume today, and Tank is my favorite fighter, but we got to keep real over here. Mario Barrios and Leo Santa Cruz and Frank Martin. Those are three solid fights. I think Leo Santa Cruz is the only really elite level fighter out of those three. But you know how many fights Tank should have been in that he haven't got? We done been through a whole generation. He didn't fight Gary Russell. He didn't fight Lomachenko. He didn't fight Teofimo Lopez. He didn't fight Devin Haney. It's a few more I ain't thinking about that he didn't fight. In my mind, ain't no excuse. Now I know why he didn't do it when he was with Floyd. Floyd wouldn't let him. Floyd didn't want that money to stop. And see, it's the biggest mistake Tank made. When he left Floyd, he should have left that bullshit alone and started fighting these top guys like Rolly Romero. No disrespect to Rolly, but what Tank get out of that other than a bunch of money? Both of them was Floyd fighters that made Floyd big money. And Floyd amassed their promoting. He know how to make motherfuckers look better than they are. Hector Garcia, we ain't even heard from him since that fight with Tank. Ryan Garcia, Ronnie Romero exposed him as a one-trick pony, and I like Ryan. I gave Tank the pass on that fight because I like both fighters. Ryan is a solid fighter, but once again, he ain't never fought none of the top guys. He has danced around that his whole career, and now he's 30 years old, and like they keep comparing fighters to Floyd Mayweather. Okay, well then, who is Tank's Diego Corrales? Because it ain't one on his resume. Tank 30 years old. Floyd was 23 years old when he fought Diego Corrales. Tank is 30 motherfucking years old and they had one fight with a fighter that's at the top of their game. Both of them in their youth prime. It ain't not one on his list. And then now you struggling with Lamont Roach. That's cause you ain't fighting who you supposed to fight. This is no disrespect to Frank Martin. I'm a big Frank Martin fan, but for Shakur, Tank, Devin, all of them dudes who've been boxing since they was 8 years old, got these big amateur careers. He is green compared to them a little bit, and they got advantages over him. That's why they always lining up to fight him. You know, that ain't no disrespect to Frank, but it's just the truth. Y'all saw how Tank fought him. He basically carried him a couple of rounds. No disrespect. I like Frank Martin. I'm a Frank Martin fan, but let's just keep real for the sake of the video. You know, and I knew this was gonna happen if he didn't stop that shit. You know, and only thing that happened to him in that Lamar Rose fight is he got in a fight, and he ain't been in one in a long time. That's just the truth. You ain't been in there with a dog that's just as experienced as he is, and wasn't scared, wasn't worried about getting knocked out. He came in there to win. He didn't come in there to try not to get knocked out like a lot of fighters do. But if you fight who you supposed to be fighting, they gonna always come in there like that. Tank should have fought Lomachenko 5 or 6 years ago when he was still hot. He wouldn't fight him. Should have fought Gary Russell. Shouldn't fight him. Tevin Farmer was begging for a fight. He wouldn't fight nobody that had a chance. I ain't blaming it all. At that particular time, that was Floyd driving the car. What's the sense in leaving Floyd and doing the same shit somewhere else? You still ain't fighting. He's 30 years old. Tell me the marquee name outside Leo Santa Cruz. Real shit. Which one of the top champions has he challenged in a humongous fight, not a money fight, a real fight? There ain't been one. And he about damn near ready to retire. So, you know, that's why I say, how can any of these dudes shit on Shorty Victory? Tevin Farmer begged Tank to fight. They got into a big argument. It's on YouTube where he, got real disrespectful with it, called the Tank out, and he wouldn't fight him. So don't diss Shorty when he go out there and knock this motherfucker out in one round. He shouldn't get nothing but love from anybody except Shakur. I feel Shakur because he was supposed to fight him and he pulled out a fight week. I can't be happy for him either if I'm Shakur. I understand. He ain't that ain't I can't even call him no hater on that one shit, cause if I'm Shakur, I don't want to hear no excuse why you wasn't in the ring. I was there, you was too, and we didn't fight. The rest of that shit conversation. I like Shorty, but I don't. Hey, whatever y'all said, it pissed me off. I was waiting on that fight, so like I said, I feel Shakur. I do. I feel him because people asking questions about him. He had signed a contract to fight Frank Martin. He pulled out the fight. Signed a contract to fight Youngin, who just knocked off Tevin Farmer. Day before the fight, he pulled out. Hell yeah, he pissed off. He can't get nobody in the ring. And now he got to go in there and deal with Cepeda. But I got a feeling that ain't going to be as difficult as people thinking it is for him. We'll see. But Tank just got to stay fighting on his level. And if he stopped this bullshit, he done took enough money. You got your money, dude. You need to go and start fighting or leave this shit alone because you're going to get... That was exposure with Lamont Roach. The next time it's going to be an embarrassment. If he fight Lamont Roach and win and go back to that bullshit again, I'm done. I ain't going to tell you no lie, I'm out. Tank my man, but if he don't fight, if he beat Lamont Roach like he should, if he don't fight Shakur, Lil Shorty, Schofield, Abdullah Mason, one of these real dogs, Andy Cruz, fuck I'm watching it for. That's why that shit happened with Lamont Roach. He ain't fighting the people he need to be fighting. He doing all this shit. He doing what Canelo doing, looking at the fighters on there. All right, who can I pick that got enough name where I can get away with this shit that I know ain't gonna beat me? That's what they doing. That's not the best guy in the division. Even when Floyd was an old man, he fought Canelo and Manny Pacquiao. You can't compare these motherfuckers to Floyd, except maybe Devin, because Devin is going out there fighting. Devin ain't ducking no smoke. Teofimo been going out there, Chiafima only had 15, 16 fights and fought longer. Tank is 30 motherfucking years old. When he gonna fight somebody? Ain't no good excuse why he didn't fight Gary Russell other than a tough fight. Ain't no see. I'm just being honest, dog, and I like Tank. I do. Tank is my favorite fighter now that Earl is done, and Tank, Crawford, and Canelo, they're my top guys. Now I used to be a big Deontay Wilder fan, but Fury killed that. So you know, uh, and now I like Schofield, and I'm trying to get me one more. And I do like Shakur, but Shakur ain't been fighting. His fights is kind of, it ain't that. You can see the skill level and all that, but you know, if he gonna keep going these long 12 round fights, he gonna have to get a little more finesse like Floyd did and make it look a little better. But I don't. I got a funny feeling this is a pay to fight ain't going 12. But yeah, man, Tank got one problem. He done fell in love with easy fights, and now he looked up and found himself in a fight. That's all that was in the 8th round. He panicked. Tank been having his way with these dudes who he faster than. He a better boxer than him, and he just been setting them up. Just walking them into his shots. And he had a guy that's a little familiar with him because they done sparred a bunch, tough just like he is, a very experienced fighter, had a long amateur career, and you got to go in there and whoop his ass. You can't play with him like he been doing these other dudes. And it caught him off guard. And then I think Tank will be much better when they fight again. I think he gonna knock him out when they fight again. But this come from not fighting the guys you should be fighting. That's all this is. Similar to this happens in boxing. Roy Jones had fell in love with easy fights towards the end of his career to some degree. Went up there and made that fight the heavyweight with John Ruiz. He came back down. He won the fight barely with Tarver, the first one. And you could go. It could have went either way. And he should have left it alone right there, but his pride wouldn't do it because a fighter know they really didn't do good in a fight, and he rematched him, and that was the beginning of the end. But I think that come from Roy fighting a bunch of easy fights. He had that big deal with HBO. He was gonna get, I think, $10 million if I came in there and fought with him. So he brought firemen, all kind of shit in there and beat him up for them 10 million. He played a basketball game, got out the basketball game, and went and had a fight. Damn well he wasn't fighting no A-lister. So that shit catch up with everybody who do it in boxing. It's best to fight the guys that's on the top when you're on the top, so you don't find yourself in this position because that money good. He got the money now, but if you can't put on, look what happened to Earl. Look how he ended for Earl. You do not want to go out like that with a bad beating in front of millions of people when you know all you had to do was stay focused, and even if you lose, you don't lose like that. So if for me, Tank got one problem. Stop the bullshit. Start fighting real fights and stop running around trying to get this easy money. And he'll be fine. But as long as he gonna keep going from C level to fighter to B level fighter, when the A fighter get in there, he not gonna be ready for it. So if you don't cut it out, this will happen again. But the next time, they only give you maybe one or two in this sport. They don't keep saving. You keep coming in there with them bad performances, they gonna go ahead and give you that L. So he can't go in there like he did last time. No, I think deep down he know that. So let's see what happened, man. But that's it for me on this video. If you like the video, hit the like and subscribe. To the next time, it's your boy Spill Dog. I'm out.